Larry, Will, appreciate you both joining us today. And Will, I think it's a good opportunity to start with you. You started your career in music, tremendous success with both the Black Eyed Peas and as a individual artist yourself, producer, all across the board, Grammy winning as well. But along that time, you've done a bunch of work in music and technology itself, and now you're leading this company, FYI. Can you talk about the intersection that you saw with both music, technology, and how it led you to what you're doing today?
Yeah, so I've been dabbling, building, putting teams together since 2012 in the AI space. I got inspired by artificial intelligence from Professor Patrick Winston at MIT, rest in peace. He was the head of the AI lab there at MIT. I used to go there from 2005, 6, and 7. And I told myself, the moment I get some money to play around with, I want to put teams together and build solutions. So in 2012, I started my first AI company, raised some money. Selena Chow from Horizon Ventures invested in that company, introduced me to Adam and Dag from the original Siri guys, and then created a company called Viv. She introduced me to then Demis and Mustafa at DeepMind in 2013. And I just loved the space when we were in AI winter. Invested in a lot of companies early on, and decided to start a new AI company, FYI.ai, in 2020. And now our solution is inside Mercedes vehicles. We just got approved and passed SoC, which is software on chip with Qualcomm, to deploy what we've done with Mercedes to other OEMs. We just partnered up with ASU, taking our platform and transforming it for education. That's called edu.fyi, Edufy, allowing professors, faculty to create agents and students so that when a student graduates, their agent will have a diploma right alongside the human to curb, agents taking human jobs.
So you've been in this with AI back 2012, 2013.
People used to look at me like, ain't nobody trying to talk to machines, right? Remember we had, I would be like, yo, Larry, check this out, bro. You can talk to this shit. And motherfuckers are like, yo, bro, ain't nobody trying to do that shit. I'm like, yo, watch, you'll see.
No, real talk. Jimmy used to say that to you all the time, by the way. That was Jimmy's response to you all the time, I remember.
No, for real, dude. Like, I've been in it thick, bro. I just want to show how thick and how long. So I'm going to show you this video right quick. I'm going to be rocking that body. So Black Eyed Peas, can I show this? Can you share the screen right quick? Ah, damn, I don't got YouTube.
Try
so, let me get these commercials through this shit right quick. So hold on. There he goes.
We can't tilt that screen, get it.
Dude, my freaking robot outfit, look at that.
That's Will back in the days. That's Will back in the days.
Oh. Tab, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off or anything.
Yeah.
Look at 15 years ago, okay? 15 years ago. Wait, one second.
Check this out. I always come with that next.
What is that?
What is that?
This right here is the future. I input my voice, high notes, my low notes, then the whole English vocabulary. What you're able to do with that, because of this artificial intelligence, like when it's time to make a new song, I just type in the lyrics, and then this thing sings it, says it, rap, talks it. This is it.
Wait, that means I don't gotta rap anymore or something?
I mean, you're still rapping, but
like, no. I mean me physically, like in a vocal booth.
No.
Okay, so you're saying machine can do anything that an artist or do?
Yes. This what's going to take the P's into 3008. This is the future right here.
We're not just going to not go to the studio and not sing anything. I mean, it takes the soul out of it.
No, you can still go to the studio. It can peek studio and check out what the machine does.
Yeah, but it's not real, Will.
It is real.
We're not robots.
Well, nobody's saying robots. All I'm
Seriously.
saying, you guys are taking this totally wrong. Well, you can't say futuristic and then be afraid of the future.
They're not robots.
So that's 15 years ago. Okay. So in 15 years ago, ago. So when I was like, yo, you take my voice, there was no diffusion model 15 years ago. To come to the notion like, yo, you take my voice. No diffusion model 15 years ago. And the whole English vocabulary, there's no LLM 15 years ago. To then type in your thing, and out comes a song. There was no audio 15 years ago. There's no ElevenLabs 15 years ago. There's no OpenAI 15 years ago. That vision came from sitting in Professor Patrick Winston's class. And so then I was like, yo, Professor Patrick Winston, check out this video, 2010. And so after going to your class, look at this video. And so Demis saw that in 2013. And he was like, yo, one day somebody should make that a product. Udio was a R&D thing inside of Google, DeepMind. David Ding left and then created Udio, made that product come to life. So yeah, I've been in AI for a fucking minute. Shit, dude. That's crazy shit.
I love it. I love it.
So like, you know, when we be like, I'm so 3008, you're so 2000 and late. We were talking about AI. Because in our head was like, yo, that album cover with the green, Fergie's eyes, my nose, Apple's face, Taboo's chin, that was like a data set of Black Eyed Peas combined to create this agent of the Black Eyed Peas in 2010. The End was the name of the album cover, or the name of the album, The End of an Industry. But a new energy because the energy never dies. So new industry coming.
So everyone in the room is just catching up to you.
Say again?
Everyone in this room is just catching up to you.
Yes.
To me?
To you.
Nah, bro. There's a lot of motherfuckers that's fast. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? But, you know, yeah, I like to run, bro.
Yeah, of course. Well, Larry, one of the things that I always enjoy catching up with you is that you're often ahead of the curve as well. And I mean, you started your career interning here at KMAL, the radio station, when you were 11 years old.
Yeah.
Since then, you've had executive roles across the music and entertainment industry. You're a top executive at Apple Music. And then you left Apple a few years back to start your own company, Gamma. And Gamma, ever since, whether it's you and I've talked about it or seen what you've done, you've positioned yourself differently from how other companies in music see themselves. So can you talk a bit about the opportunities you saw along the way and why your company, Gamma, is so different than the traditional record labels or some of the other companies in music?
Yeah, absolutely. Firstly, it's really special for me to, because I've never done this with Will, but this is my brother. Like this is family right here, you know?
We would be like in meetings, before Apple bought us at Beats, and before even that, just like, Larry brought freaking Whitney Houston to my house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, real stuff.
Yeah. I remember we were recording at what was that name? Chung Lee?
Chung Lee.
Yeah, I remember we were recording at Chung Lee. We were doing, I think it was a song called Nothing But Love.
Nothing But Love.
Nothing But Love. And me and Whitney got into a fight in the...
Yeah, Larry's OG for us.
Yeah, no, we've known each other for too long. But Will's right. I mean, before I get to your question, Dan, when we got to Apple, but even before we got to Apple, we had an office down the street. I don't know if you remember, Will, for Beats Music.
Yep.
It was in this neighborhood before this neighborhood became this neighborhood. And I think one of the things that I'm seeing, it was actually a chat bot that we had called The Sentence. Remember The Sentence?
Yep.
And that's like, almost kind of like the interface of what you see with ChatGPT now, you know what I mean? And what's become kind of like the popular interface now. So I think it is probably safe to say a lot of this is catching up with where we were at that time, and it's affirming, I know certainly for Will, because I know Will has been like screaming it from the mountaintops, you know what I mean? He had so many products that were just so compelling, but now it's like the time, and I can't say enough positive things about Will, especially as an African American man that has really been an anomalous maverick, in the sea of all of this. But with respect to what you asked me, though, yeah, I did grow up here in San Francisco. My parents, who are here in the front row right now, are
The Jacksons?
the Jacksons. You ain't met your family yet? You ain't met your family?
Every time I
You met
see your
Tuesday.
son-
You met Tuesday
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Tyler, the Creator.
That's
me.
right.
Yeah.
And don't I always call you Larry Jackson? I
You
never
do.
say
Yeah.
just Larry.
Yeah.
It's either Jackson or Larry Jackson. You guys raised an amazing leader here. Thank you so much.
Oh man, thank you. But I mean, just a little bit about them and the Jackson journey is. Dad moved here from Houston in 1948. My mom moved here from St. Louis by way of Atlanta in the late 60s. Mom was one of the heads of human resources at Wells Fargo. My dad introduced me to Silicon Valley because he was an engineer at Monolithic Memories, which then became AMD, which now supplies all the microprocessors, and AMD is AMD. So my dad was at AMD in the 90s and the 80s. So, and he was the only one who looked like him who was there, which is crazy.
Wow.
So I'm blown away that now I'm on the board of directors at ServiceNow, and I worked at Apple for 8 years because I used to go down, to Silicon Valley to Fry's Electronics, and it was interesting, but it was also really boring to a kid. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm down there, I'm like, wow, I actually work down in this place that is, I used to visit as a kid all the time. But being at KMEL here in San Francisco and starting my career got me to work with Clive Davis, which got me to meet Will, which then that's how I met Jimmy Iovine, who was starting Beats headphones at the time, which Will is actually being very, very, he's being very understated about his involvement, because there would be no Beats by Dre without Will.i.am. Will.i.am was the one who really took Jimmy by the hand and showed him how to do hardware in so many ways. So much to the degree that if you actually go back and look at Will's performance on the Super Bowl halftime show, when the Black Eyed Peas did their Super Bowl halftime show, Will tricked the NFL to giving him an aerial shot, and he turned the shape of the stage into the B.
Not only that, I had the dancers. I'm like, look, I need you guys are all white. You guys need to stand in this arrow, and your routine is just this. I need you guys just lean forward. They were like, what is this move? I was like, don't worry about it. Just do like this. And if you go, I'm like, yo, Jimmy, when I say I be rocking in Beats, just pay attention to that part, because that's when the dudes that are in this anonymous shape, they don't know what they're doing. But from the aerial shot, it forms an arrow from the mouse.
It formed the logo of the company.
Pointing at the Beats logo. Got him.
They didn't even know.
They didn't even know. No one's going to know. They're going to know. They're not going to know. Yeah.
So, working with Jimmy and Will and Dre, ultimately that's how we got to Apple, because Apple bought the company in 2014. And that was an amazing time for us. We were just at the forefront of so much. I mean, it was before Apple Services. Eddie Q, my hero, really a mentor to me, who led the Apple's and a minority investor, in Gamma, because of Eddie and because of Tim, which I'm pinching myself about still to this day. But Eddie was the one who really brought all of us into Apple, and with that then came the birth of services: Apple Pay, Apple News, Apple TV, Apple Card. I mean, we were around for all of it. The reinvention of Maps, but really the subscription services side of Apple really kicked off with Apple Music, because that was outside of what you do for your Mac when you sign up and you want to get the insurance policy, that kind of thing. That was the first real subscription service in a real way at Apple. So. That time was just so incredible, and that's how I got to Gamma, because I started talking to artists like Will, or I would talk to Drake, or I talked to Taylor, or I talked to Frank, and all these artists would talk about how many albums they had left on their recording contract, like the Prisoners that I met when I went to San Quentin. I'll be like, yeah, bro, what you in here for, man? Oh, such and such. How much time you got left, man? I got 2 years left. I talked to Drake, man, I got 2 albums left.
Yeah.
And it started to become a really consistent and common theme that I started to hear in these conversations. So it made me, it really imbued me with the excitement and enthusiasm to leave and start what ultimately has now become the 4th major. And within 2 years, we signed Usher. We did the Super Bowl with him last year. Mariah Carey. We have Mariah now. We've got Snoop.
Mariah?
Yeah, we got Mariah.
Damn.
Yeah, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's it's Mariah.
Christmas albums?
Come on. We're making an announcement, a big announcement about Mariah and Christmas on Thanksgiving, which
money. Sorry.
you know what I'm saying? We got Snoop and Death Row catalog, which to me, I grew up on Death Row, living here in the Bay. That to me is better than owning a Basquiat, in my opinion. And we also signed and developed Sexy Red, and we have Molly, who's got one of the top 5 biggest songs of the year in the world right now, the biggest song of the year from Africa. So within 2 years, we've been able to do a lot. But one of the things I'm really excited about is ElevenLabs. And Maddie and I have become very, very close. I've become close with the team. I promised him that I wouldn't announce it today, but we do have an announcement coming up in a couple of days that we'll elaborate a little bit more in the press. But I'm really excited about it because one of the things that we're doing at Gamma is really actually being very imaginative, because we don't have any bureaucracy. There's no layers of the company. There's nobody out. There's not the meeting about the meeting or the conference call about the meeting about the conference call. We make a decision, we go for it, and Maddie and I have come up with something very quickly in the last couple of months that we'll be rolling out to the App Store very soon in the artist space, in a space that I think is really imaginative, and hopefully I'm able to make Will.i.am proud when he sees it. So, yeah.
So, Larry, please. So, Larry, you're talking about a partnership between your company, Gamma, and ElevenLabs.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you'll read about it in a couple of days. I'm not sure. Perhaps.
maybe not. Maybe
not. Mm-hmm.
But, Will, we talked a little bit about everything you've done leading up to this point. And I have to imagine with the company that you're building right now with FYI, it's likely ahead of the curve similarly. So before we do a demo of the product itself, let's talk about the actual product. Why did you start FYI?
By the way, Will, is this what Anita was?
No, that company, I left that company to start this company. So Anita was my first dabble in AI. That's when we were in NOU, NLP, machine learning.
Yeah.
So that means the context in NOU, NLP, machine learning, you probably get 4 levels of context.
Yeah.
Meaning, play Beyonce. What's going on with her? Does she have any shows there? Is there sushi restaurants around there? Book a restaurant for 5, and the 5 are all going to the show. That's as deep as you get with context. And so we were doing that kind of stuff in 2012, and then the agent at the time could then hop off the app and make a phone call and on behalf of what your inquiry and conversation was about. So we did that in 2012. 2020, I started FYI. So there was a few folks that went over to Apple from Beats. And to be real with you, I was like, how come I can't go to Apple? I was like, kind of hurt. I'm like, dang, man, I got all these ideas. But then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take my earnings and I'm gonna go to India, I'm gonna go to Israel, and I'm gonna put together my own team and start my own company with engineers. Like, what's stopping me from going and getting engineers and spitting out ideas? And that's how we were able to create Anita back in 2012. We forked Android, put it on a Snapdragon chip, and had a fully functional agentic OS on a watch in 2013. Right? So 2020, I started FYI. I'm like, yo, I'm on a messenger. We're in COVID. I gotta work from my phone to work on iMessage and WhatsApp. I need a Dropbox. I need a WeTransfer. I can't even send large files onto the messenger. I gotta open it up on my laptop with a zip, but yet I'm trying to work from my phone. So I was like, yo, let's create a singular interface where I could send large, gigs of files through the messenger. And at the time, everybody was like, yo, NFTs. I'm like, I don't get NFTs, but I love the architecture. Told my engineer, like, yo, can we do the same type of encryption methodology for the messenger? Like, why is it JPEG secured, but not my data and my messages and all my assets on the messenger? So we did I think it's called Dixie-Hellman elliptical curve cryptography. I think it's ECDH, whatever the fuck it is. So we put that shit in, gave everybody motherfucking keys, right? So they could keep their shit straight. And so then we couldn't, no matter what we tried, people like, I'm not switching over to a new messenger. I was like, okay, what if instead of talking to humans on the messenger, this is 2022 now, people could talk to agents. And there's a Rolodex of agents on the messenger. But each agent has a point of view, because most agents, AIs, don't have a point of view. And let's go and get like folks from our community to be reflected. And at the time, I had already invested in Inflection, helping Mustafa with Pi. I invested in OpenAI at the time. And then when Dario left, I invested in Anthropic. And then I hunted down ElevenLabs to invest in ElevenLabs. And then I hunted down Clem to invest in Hugging Face. I like to fucking hunt. Maddie, you know, I'm like, yo, bro, let me fucking invest, dude. I got ideas. So that's what I like doing. It's like fucking investing in shit. From the jump. Invested in fucking Lovable, met them cats like, yo, bro, I like your shit. Let's do this shit. Anyhow, so let me go show you my shit.
Yeah, let's get a demo, man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, here he goes. So I'm gonna show you radio. So can you pull up the thing? Can you pull it up, or the thing?
And while he's doing this, just to note, that investment portfolio is pretty crazy. Even you got to acknowledge that.
Oh, yeah. But like, not through like, I rock with Ron Conway really heavily at SB Angel, but then a lot of the things I go out and hunt myself. And go into like colleges. Uh-oh. Stage, got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
You mirroring again?
Yep, mirroring. Going to colleges, putting teams together. Like, you know how football coaches go out and scout colleges to go pro? If you got money to play with, go to Caltech, go to Georgia Tech, go to Stanford, go to MIT, invest in the youth. Put teams together. Those are the next companies. You know what I mean? Because here's what happens. Like, ElevenLabs is fucking dope. But at some point in time, people didn't know about ElevenLabs. And then, now Maddie has all these folks coming in because they're chasing hype and clout, and they want something that's cool. If you really want to be on that next, go to colleges, put together freaking like research and development things, problems to solve, and throw the youth at them to solve those fucking problems. That's what it's really about. Chasing companies that are already popping, they already popping. They didn't need you to pop. They popped on their own. You want to use your fucking pop magic. You know what I'm saying? Do, Popeye shit, homie. So here we go. So here's FYI. It's not casted. It's not casted. There we go, boom. That's not me. What's going on? Somebody else has got the cast.
That's not you?
No. You there? Back up.
Gotta hardwire that thing, man.
Accessory. Sorry.
No worry. So while you're doing that, Larry,
Yes, sir.
I do want to ask you, so if we zoom out, you did mention some of the partnerships that your company, Gamma specifically, has made along the way. If you could talk a bit about how you see the major music ecosystem itself and the partnerships that you've seen along the way with different companies in AI, and there's been a lot of discussion back and forth.
Yeah.
But again, I think you probably have a bit more autonomy to be able to make these partnerships yourself. Can you?
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, yeah. Can you talk about the speed and the opportunity? You referred to Gamma as a fourth major yourself. Can you talk about how that gives you an advantage in partnering with these companies and keeping your company ahead of the edge?
I mean, it's just a difference between an ocean liner and a speedboat, you know? It's very difficult to turn something that is so large and monolithic around so quickly, versus like a 75-foot Sunseeker, you know what I mean? And we're able to move quite nimbly based on that. But it's the time. I think next year you're going to see. Next year will be the year transformatively for when you see. And I don't think it's going to happen certainly necessarily in the major label level in that impactful or influential of a way. I think it's going to happen with companies like ours and a few other companies that really are going to take bold, nimble, agile bets, you know. But for me, you know, I mentioned it earlier, I'm on the board of directors for ServiceNow, as Maddie knows. And, you know, to me, it's shocked. We had a board meeting last week. It's shocking. You know, Will's close with Benioff at Salesforce as well. I mean, when you look at the, you know, when you look at the SaaS space, you look at the enterprise software space, and you see the deployment of agentic AI in particular, and Gen AI in that space, the music business is so far behind, you know, with respect to its adoption of a lot of these ideas and this methodology of everything that we're talking about here. So, you know, for me, I'm lucky to have kind of like, you know, the duality and the ambidextrous nature, you know, to be able to like, you know, have something in both worlds. What are you writing there, Will? Say hello to the audience. Okay.
I'm conducting my agentic host to then for the segment that I'm about to show for our augmented radio station.
Oh, sick.
All right, let's see it.
Yeah, so
Is this for the Mercedes car?
no, this is our radio architecture that allows the publisher to, you know, do real time based on like what they're seeing as the world unfolds. Instead of writing the tweet, and then you like tweet and it's a very messy thing.
Yeah.
Twitter's awesome. X is awesome. But in the agentic world, maybe that's not the way forward. So what we created was like this radio push that allows for like publishing, human curation, and agentic like presentation. And an octopus is through media to music. So I'll show you that now.
Great.
FYI radio. Hello, LA. Welcome to FYI Radio, where we put the I in radio. I'm your host today, and guess what? Will.i.am is in the house. That's right, the visionary founder of FYI AI himself. How cool is that? And speaking of visionaries, Mati from ElevenLabs is here with us in the audience too. You know, it's quite a rare sight to see the CEO sitting among the crowd, sharing the passion and humility that truly inspire innovation. When passion meets experience, great things happen. Now, everyone ever wonder why elephants never use computers? Because they're afraid of the mouse. But on a more insightful note, today at the ElevenLabs Summit, technology leaders, including some incredible minds like Will.i.am and Jack Dorsey, are sharing their ideas on the future of voice and AI. It's an exciting day to see how our world is being reshaped with intelligent voice agents. Let's jump into some music.
No. Before you jump in, Larry Jackson is sitting right next to me, and his parents. Do you know Larry Jackson's dad used to work at AMD? Which is amazing because Larry Jackson came from the music industry. Now he then went from like KMEL to Arista to Beats to Apple. Now he got this company called Gamma, and now we're in this freaking amazing room here. This used to be a club, and ElevenLabs is here, and it's on 11. That's a lot of 11s. Anyways, say what's up to the audience and answer all the things I just asked. And also, can you break down quantum entanglement from the perspective of selling sneakers?
Hey there, music lovers and AI fans. So Larry Jackson is sitting right next to you, and guess what? His dad used to work at a place closely tied to the hustle and bustle of the music industry. Larry had quite a journey from KML to Arista, hopped over to Beats, and then to Apple. Now he's got this fantastic company called Gamma. How about that? And you mentioned we're here in this room, which used to be a club. Times are changing, and with labs around, and today being 11/11, it's just fitting. Now, as for breaking down quantum entanglement from the perspective of selling sneakers, imagine if each sneaker you sell influences the sale of a sneaker halfway around the world instantaneously. It's all about interconnectedness and the mysteries of the universe tangibly expressed. Now let's vibe to the beat, and here's a track to set the mood. Ain't vai. Keep it locked for more insightful conversations
Keep it
and
locked.
fresh tunes.
FYI.
Hey.
And it's gonna go into some music. What? And I can collapse it. And I go here and show you like the project that made that. This is the project that made that. That's all my text that I showed it. That's all the information that's there. I could then like running order, okay? Yo, back to the ElevenLabs Summit. What's happening at 1 p.m. As far as the running order? I'm sorry, 4 p.m. Okay, that's 2:25 on the segment that came before this song.
The magic of ElevenLabs Summit continues. At 4 p.m., we have a heartfelt discussion on the impact of voice technology featuring ElevenLabs' Sophia Noel and Yvonne Johnson, a motor neuron disease advocate. You'll hear incredible stories about how personalized voice technology empowers individuals and brings visibility to those living with speech loss. Following that session, Jack Dorsey will join Mati Staniszewski for a conversation about the next era of tech. Stay with.
But what's cool about it, like, look, I published this right here. And from this project, I could come here to the project. I could put more people onto this on my edit profile.
Crazy.
Have my editors, put more editors on there.
Yeah.
I could make it public, put it to the open web. I could just have discussion tabs, media playback on web. I could put AI on projects. What does AI on projects mean? Now I have an AI right here on the project. I'd be like, now I bring the AI on the project, and I could talk to the AI from the project. And the AI in the project could help me create the project even better. And I could then publish it to the, right, to our publisher. And so you do that by having your own motherfucking developers. Anyways, I love making shit.
So, Will, Larry, I'd love to continue this, but we do have to pause the segment here.
Oh, we gotta go?
Oh, yeah, we
I
gotta
got more
go.
shit to show you. I'm playing.
We gotta go. But, ladies and gentlemen, Will, Larry, thank you.
Hey, guys.